same-sex marriage case referred to Constitution bench, the central government had expressed opposition to legal recognition. Marriage between biological man and woman was told to be right. India won the Oscar awards. The song Natu Natu and short film The Elephant Whisperers won the award. This award was started in 1929. Report based on multiple indicators survey released includes data on many points including education, employment, claims improvement in the country's drinking water availability. IREDA gets IFC status. The main aim is to raise funds for renewable projects, was established in 1987. And 5th UN Conference on LDCs concludes. Doha Political Declaration released. The event was held in Qatar. Recently, the central government protested against the petitions related to giving legal recognition to same-sex marriages, argued that marriage in Indian statutory and personal law refers only to a marriage between a biological man and a biological woman. In such a situation, any interference would cause a complete havoc with the delicate balance of personal laws in the country and in accepted societal values. The central government in its affidavit also said that persons of the same sex living together as partners and having sexual relations cannot be compared with the concept of the Indian family unit. Further, despite the legalization of the homosexuality under Section 377 of the IPC, the petitioners cannot claim a fundamental right to same-sex marriage under the laws of the land. The centre is also of the view that legalization of same-sex marriages is likely to create a lot of complications related to issues like adoption, divorce, maintenance, inheritance, etc. Because the provisions relating to these matters are based on marriage between one man and one woman. As such, it is impossible to make these provisions workable in same-sex marriage. The central government also urged the Apex Court to leave the issue to Parliament. However, the Supreme Court referred the matter to a constitutional bench. The demand for gay rights in India was first raised by the Nas India Foundation. In 2009, the Delhi High Court decriminalized same-sex relationships. Later, the matter reached the Supreme Court where it was referred to the constitutional bench. The constitutional bench of the Supreme Court in its judgment had decriminalized the homosexuality provision of IPC Section 377, considering the relationship between two adults as private. Recently, the 95th Oscar Awards have been announced. 2 Indian films have won in this. The song Natu Natu from the film RRR of South Indian cinema and a short film The Elephant Whispers have won the Oscars. Among these, the song Natu Natu has been awarded Best Original Song, while The Elephant Whisperers has got the title of Best Documentary Short Film. The Elephant Whisperers is the first Indian film to win an Oscar in this category. Significantly, in the year 1982, Bhanu Athaiya won the first Oscar for India. Athaiya was given this award in the Best Costume Design category. After this, in the year 1992, Satyajit Ray was awarded Honorary Oscar for Lifetime Achievement. This honor was given to him for his unprecedented contribution to the world cinema. Apart from these, in the year 2009, India's Slumdog Millionaire film made a splash at the Oscar Awards. At that time, a total of 8 awards had come in its account in different categories. Among these, Bollywood veteran singer A.R. Rahman received the Oscar Award for the song Jai Ho from Slumdog Millionaire, while Rusal Purkutti won the Oscar in the Best Sound Mixing category for this film. Along with them, Gulzar shared the Oscar for Best Original Song with A.R. Rahman for writing the lyrics of Jai Ho. We should tell you that the Oscar Award is a prestigious award globally. Through this, the personalities with artistic and technical merit in the film industry are recognized. It is awarded every year by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. It was established in 1927 but its distribution was first started in the year 1929. Under this, the winners are given a gold-plated trophy. This trophy is commonly called Oscar. The Oscar Awards ceremony is held at the Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles, California. This award is given in 24 categories. Significantly, its real name is Academy Award, while Oscar is its popular name. India's biggest youth summit was organized on 13th and 14th March at Vigyan Bhavan in Delhi. It was named National Youth Conclave. The two-day event was organized by Smart Cities Mission, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Department of Youth Affairs, and National Institute of Urban Affairs. The National Youth Conclave was held under the aegis of India's G20 presidency. Its main objective is to make Indian cities a better place to live and thrive so that youth can connect with these cities. In fact, in the last few years, there has been a rapid migration of youth towards cities in search of employment and better life. According to the central government, the urban population is expected to reach 53% by 2047. This will increase our urban population to about 400 million. So the government wants to manage the urbanization process well. Let us tell you that the National Youth Conclave was organized in alignment with the Urban 20 and Youth 20 groups, which means the members of the Urban 20 and Youth 20 also participated in this program. Urban 20 is one of the core working groups of the G20. The working group provides a platform to facilitate discussion on key urban development issues for cities in the G20 countries, including climate change, social inclusion, sustainable mobility, affordable housing, and urban infrastructure financing. Furthermore, keeping in mind the importance of cities as growth centers for development, Urban 20 seeks to enhance the attractiveness of cities on a global stage. Similarly, Youth 20 is an official consultation platform to establish a dialogue between the youth of all the member countries of G20. Let us tell you that the first meeting of Youth 20 was organized in the year 2010. Youth 20 encourages young people to raise awareness, exchange ideas, and reach consensus on global issues as leaders of the future. Recently, a report based on multiple indicators survey was published. The report was released by National Sample Survey Office. The report covers many points including people's education, employment, housing, energy, and toilets. The purpose of the survey is to collect information on key national indicators of the Sustainable Development Goals. About 3 lakh families across the country were included in this survey. According to the report, currently more than 95% of the rural and about 97% of the urban population of the country is getting clean drinking water. About 56% of people in rural areas and about 76% of people in urban areas are using improved sources of drinking water at household level. The report also says that toilets are being used by about 79% households in rural areas and about 97% in urban areas. There has been an increasing trend towards cleaner fuel as the primary source of energy for cooking. As per the data, about 49.8% households in rural areas and about 92% households in urban areas use clean fuel for cooking. The report also mentions the citizens being in debt. According to this, out of 1 lakh people aged 18 years and above, 16,000 in rural areas and 15,000 in urban areas were in debt to one or the other financial institution at the time of the survey. Apart from this, the present residence of about 26.8% people in rural areas and about 34.6% in urban areas was different from the last residence. Employment has been cited as the main reason for migration. About 38.7% of males in rural areas and about 56% of males in urban areas migrated in search of employment. According to the report, among people aged 15 to 29 years, 33 and 39.4% in rural and urban areas respectively had received formal and non-formal education and training in the 12 months prior to the survey. In rural and urban areas, 11.2 and 7.2% households respectively have constructed or purchased a new house or flat for residential purpose after March 31, 2014. Significantly, the work of National Sample Survey is done by NSO, that is National Statistical Office. Presently, it works under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation of the central government. Recently, SIPRI, that is Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, has published its report. This report is based on the import and export of arms at the global level. In this, shocking figures have emerged in the context of India. According to the report, India still remains the largest importer of arms in the world. However, between the year 2013 and 2022, there has been a decrease of about 11% in India's arms purchases. The reason for this shortfall has been attributed to the complex procurement process, Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, Make in India program, etc. The report reveals that the 5 largest importers of arms during the year 2018 to 22 were India, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Australia and China respectively, whereas the 5 largest exporting countries were America, Russia, France, China and Germany. According to the report, there was a 14% increase in Pakistan's arms purchases during the same period and China was its main supplier. Further, it has been told that during the years 2013 to 2017 and 2018 to 2022, a 44% increase was registered in French arms exports. The special thing is that most of it was exported to Asia and Oceania countries. At the same time, during the year 2018 to 22, 30% of the total arms exports of France were made to India only. As a result, France has become India's second largest arms supplier after Russia. Earlier, America used to come after Russia in terms of arms supply to India. In this report, a major reason for the increase in France's global market has been attributed to the Russia-Ukraine war, because of which there has been a decrease in Russia's arms exports. We should tell you that SIPRI is an international institute which works in the field of war, armaments, arms control and disarmament. It was established in the year 1966 in Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. Recently, INCB, that is International Narcotics Control Board, published its annual report. According to the report, there has been a significant increase in drug seizures in India in the last 5 years. The reason behind this has been attributed to the strict rules made in relation to drugs and better coordination between government agencies. The report warns India that the global demand for synthetic drugs is on the rise. Since the demand for India's pharmaceutical products is high globally, therefore illegal manufacturing and trafficking organizations can increase their global activities. The report also says that there has been an increase in the use of the sea route for drug trafficking. Darknet is being used for such transactions. Darknet is the encrypted form of internet on which it is very difficult to trace the transactions. This type of transaction is usually done in cryptocurrencies. The report cited another report by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and said that around 23 million people in the age group of 10 to 75 years in India consume some form of addictive drugs. Heroin and pain-relieving pharmaceutical opioids account for most consumption. The report says that about 8 million people in India are suffering from various disorders due to the use of opioids. In fact, pharmaceutical opioids are drugs commonly used for pain relief. At present, many such drugs have been banned internationally. The INCB is the independent and quasi-judicial monitoring body for the implementation of the United Nations International Drug Control Conventions. It was established in the year 1968. Recently, the Reserve Bank of India has given the status of infrastructure finance company to IREDA, that is Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. Earlier, IREDA was classified as investment and credit company. According to experts, after getting the status of infrastructure finance company, IREDA will be able to take more risk in this sector. Also, the company will be helped in creating a wider investor base for raising funds. Infrastructure Finance Company does the work of financing such projects which are related to infrastructure construction. These include projects related to transport, energy, drinking water and sanitation, communication and social infrastructure. These companies are mandated to invest 75% of their net worth in infrastructure-related projects. To get IFC status, the company should have a minimum net worth of Rs 300 crore. Apart from this, the CRAR of the company should be 15% and Tier 1 capital should be 10%. Significantly, CRAR is the ratio of a bank's capital to its risk-weighted assets and current liabilities. It is used to protect depositors and maintain the efficiency and stability of global financial systems. The IREDA is a mini-Ratna company under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India. It undertakes fundings for projects related to new and renewable energy sources. It was established in the year 1987 as a public financial institution under the Companies Act 1956. It may be noted that IREDA has recently been provided a loan of $100 million by the World Bank. This loan has been given for the development of internal infrastructure of solar parks. Recently, the MSME Competitive Lean scheme has been launched by the central government. Its purpose is to prepare a roadmap for global competition for micro, small and medium enterprises. Along with this, by improving the quality, productivity and performance of MSME products, it has to be made according to the global market. The special thing about this scheme is that in this, the main focus of the government is on lean manufacturing. Under the scheme, manufacturing methods like 5S, Kaizen, Kanban, Visual Workplace, Pokayoka, etc. will be implemented under the guidance of consultants to attain lean levels like basic, intermediate and advanced. Apart from this, the government will contribute 90% of the hand-holding and consultancy fees to support MSMEs. In the scheme, there is a provision of giving an additional financial contribution of 5% to such MSMEs of northeastern states which are part of Spurti cluster and owned by women SC or ST. MSMEs registering with industry associations and OEM, that is overall equipment manufacturing organizations, after completing all the levels will receive an additional contribution of 5%. The purpose of this feature is to encourage supply chain vendors associated with industry associations and OEMs to participate in the program. Actually, lean production or lean manufacturing is a method of production. Usually, the term lean is used for this. Under this, while preparing the product, we remove those processes which increase the time and cost. At present, lean manufacturing is used by small to big companies. We should tell you that if the manufacturing companies are not able to correctly estimate the demand related to the products of the suppliers and customers, that is, in the event of not being able to reduce the response time or reduce the waste process, the profit of the company can be reduced or completely eliminated. Recently, the ITEC, that is Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation, launched an online training course. It has been named Emerging with Indian Thoughts and India Immersion Program. This course will be conducted by IIM, that is Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode. According to the reports, members of the Taliban government of Afghanistan have also participated in it. Other than this, officials from countries like Thailand and Malaysia also participated. Significantly, India has not yet recognized the Taliban government. However, in the June last year, India reopened its embassy in Afghanistan. According to the website of ITEC, it was completely online course. It ran from 14th to 17th March. Regarding its purpose, ITEC says that the uniqueness of India lies in its unity in diversity, which looks like a complicated place to other countries. Hence, this program will be helpful in removing the ambiguity. Also, it will help in providing foreign executives a deeper understanding of India's business environment. Through this, participants can understand India's economic environment, regulatory ecosystem, and insights of Indian leadership. In addition, it provides an opportunity to experience and learn about India's social and historical background, cultural heritage, legal and environmental landscape, consumer mindset, and business risk. We should tell you that ITEC is a leading capacity building platform of the Government of India. It was established in the year 1964. It is one of India's oldest institutional arrangements for international capacity building. Its mandate is to implement capacity building projects in partner countries. It offers multiple courses every month through various knowledge partners. Some of these courses are designed for only one country. It has trained over 2 lakh officers from over 160 countries in civil and defense sectors. It is administered by the Development Partnership Administration 2nd Division of the Ministry of External Affairs. The 5th United Nations Conference on Least Developed Countries has been concluded recently. This conference was held in Qatar. It was organized under the theme From Potential to Prosperity. The special feature of the conference was that the Doha Political Declaration has been adopted in it. Significantly, the Doha Political Declaration focuses on implementing DPOA, that is Doha Programme of Action. On the other hand, Doha Programme of Action is an action plan made for 10 years. Its objective is to achieve the mandatory Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations for the 46 most vulnerable countries. Actually, LDCs, that is least developed countries, are those countries which are relatively less developed. 46 countries across the world have been identified as LDCs by the United Nations. These include 33 countries in Africa and 9 countries in Asia. These countries are highly vulnerable to economic and environmental damages or shocks. Also, they have low level of human capital. These countries have insufficient liquidity to provide essential services. At the same time, they also face the challenge of high credit cost. This is the reason why these countries are more affected by natural or global problems like corona pandemic, water crisis, etc. than developed and developing countries. Recently, DCGI, that is Drug Controller General of India, has given approval for manufacturing and marketing of an important drug, Prussian blue insoluble formulation. Scott Adel Pharmacia Limited, located in Baddi, Himachal Pradesh, and Skant Life Science LLP Ahmedabad have got the right to manufacture and sell this drug in India. This drug will be available in India under the names Prude Corp TM and Prude Corp MG. This drug has been developed by DRDO's Delhi-based Laboratory Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences. It has been developed to be used in radiological and nuclear emergencies. It will be used for decontamination of cesium and thallium. Let us tell you that this drug is one of the important drugs listed for radiological and nuclear emergencies by WHO. These include drugs that either prevent or reduce radiation exposure or treat injuries caused by it. Significantly, the risk of radiation can be high in the case of use of radiological and nuclear emergency during cancer treatment. Due to this, the health of the patient can deteriorate and death can also happen. According to WHO, there are currently many countries still with the lack of preparedness to deal with radiation emergencies. The Prussian blue insoluble formulation contains insoluble ferric hexakinopherate second. The Technology Development Fund was set up under the Make in India initiative to promote self-reliance in the defense sector. It is a flagship program of the Ministry of Defense executed by DRDO, catering to the needs of all the three services, Defense Production and DRDO. CMFRI, that is Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute, presented many facts regarding marine fisheries and CO2 emissions from it. According to this, marine fisheries in India emitted 1.32 tons of CO2 to produce 1 kilogram of fish in 2016, which is less than the global average of 2 tons. This estimate includes CO2 emissions from the entire process of marine fisheries. It covers activities from boat building to retail level. According to experts, more than 90% of the fisheries sector's fuel is used for fishing. Due to this, the sector contributes to about 5 million kg of CO2 emissions annually. Mechanization of marine fisheries sector accounts for 16.3% of the country's carbon emissions. According to CMFRI, the carbon footprint of the Indian marine fisheries sector is very low as compared to other countries. This is because of the high dependence of the sector on manpower. Significantly, the use of large mechanized fishing boats began in India in the late 1950s. At present, the size and number of these boats have increased. Therefore, the fishing sector's dependence on fossil fuels has also raised concerns about climate change. CMFRI says that eco-friendly methods of fishing are being discovered to reduce carbon emissions. This includes optimizing fuel usage, reducing fuel wastage, etc. Further, the institute is also developing a coastal climate risk atlas to identify vulnerable areas in the coastal districts of India. Let us now look at the 5 questions based on the bulletin. Questions based on today's bulletin are: first question is, consider the following statements. 1. Same-sex relationships are a legal right in India but not a fundamental right. 2. Section 377 of the IPC deals with homosexuality. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 2 only, or none of the above? Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Recently RBI granted IREDA the status of infrastructure finance company. 2. Earlier IREDA was listed as investment and credit company. 3. It is mandatory for any company to have a minimum net worth of Rs 300 crore to get IFC status. Which of the above statements are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, or all of the above? Next question is, with reference to the recent report of CIPRI, consider the following statements. 1. Presently, India is the largest importer of arms in the world. 2. Between the years 2013 to 2022, there has been a decrease of about 11% in India's arms purchases. 3. CIPRI was established in the year 1966 in Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, or none of the above? Next question is, consider the following statements regarding the 95th Oscar Awards. 2. In this, the award for Best Original Song was given to the song Natu Natu. 2. The first Oscar for India was won by Bhanu Athaiya in the year 1982. 3. The real name of Oscar Award is Academy Award. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, or none of the above? Last question is, consider the following statements. 1. Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation has launched the online training course Emerging with Indian Thoughts and India Immersion Program. 2. The course will be conducted by the Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode. Which of the above statement or statements is or are not correct? 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 2 only, or none of the above? A bilateral exercise has recently concluded between the armies of India and Singapore. This exercise was named Bold Kurukshetra. It was organized at Jodhpur Military Station, India. This was the 13th edition of the series. It marked the first time that both armies participated in a command post exercise involving battalion and brigade level planning units and computer wargaming. Troops from the 42nd Battalion Singapore Armed Regiment and an armed brigade of the Indian Army participated in the exercise. Its purpose was to promote a common understanding of mechanized warfare in an environment of emerging threats and emerging technologies. Also to develop interoperability through a computer simulation-based war game using joint operations and tactical procedures controlled through a joint command post. Recently, BIS, that is Bureau of Indian Standards, launched the series Learn Science via Standards. According to BIS, a series of lesson plans have been prepared using scientific concepts, principles and rules under this special initiative. Through this, the students will be exposed to the quality characteristics, manufacturing, working and testing of various products as specified in the respective Indian standards. It covers topics related to products used in daily life. These lesson plans will also be hosted on the BIS website. Recently, Atal Innovation Mission launched ATL Sarthi. It has been developed to strengthen the growing ecosystem of ATL, that is Atal Tinkering Labs. According to official information, it is a comprehensive self-monitoring framework. In fact, under the Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog is setting up Atal Tinkering Laboratories in schools across the country. It aims to foster curiosity, creativity and imagination in young minds. Thus, ATL is a workplace where young minds can shape their ideas through a hands-on do-it-yourself mode. Also, they can learn innovation skills. Significantly, the objective of the Atal Innovation Mission is to promote young innovators in India. Lately, the multilateral exercise La Pérouse 2023 was organized. It was attended by the Royal Australian Navy, the French Navy, the Indian Navy, the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force, the Royal Navy, and the United States Navy. Let us tell you that this is a biennial exercise. It is organized by the French Navy. It aims to enhance maritime domain awareness and maximize maritime coordination among participating navies in the Indo-Pacific region. It includes surface warfare, air defense exercises, cross-deck landing and strategic maneuvers, etc. Recently, Bhutan, which was included in the world's happiest countries, is now out of the category of least developed country. Bhutan has become the 7th country to move out of the UN's list of least developed countries. This achievement is the result of the steps taken by Bhutan to develop the country's economy. Bhutan's economy has grown 8-fold in the last 20 years. The United Nations has 3 conditions to keep a country in this category. First, the 3 years per capita gross national income average should be below the limit of $1,230. The second is that the country should be performing poorly on the standards of nutrition, education, etc. And the third is that the country is economically sensitive. According to the second advance estimate released by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, India's GDP may grow by 7% for the financial year 2022-23. Let us tell you that in December 2022, the Reserve Bank of India had reduced the estimate of GDP growth for the current financial year to 6.8%. Apart from this, the ministry revised the estimate of economic growth for the financial year 2021-22 to 9.1%. Earlier in May 2022, this estimate was released at 8.5%. For the past few days, increasing cases of infection with adenovirus in West Bengal has become a matter of concern. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee said that 19 people, including 6 children, have died due to the virus. Its infection can spread by coming in contact with an infected person, shaking hands, and even by feces or urine. If the diapers of infected children are thrown in the open, then there is a possibility of spreading the infection. Cold, cough, headache, and fever are the main symptoms of infection. Doctors say that this infection can be avoided by wearing masks and taking care of hygiene. For the eradication of sickle cell anemia disease, the Indian Health Ministry is screening people suffering from this disease. The main purpose of this screening is to prevent 2 people suffering from this disease from marrying so that the spread of this disease can be reduced. The target is to completely eliminate this disease by the year 2047. Actually, sickle cell anemia is a genetic disease in which the shape of a person's RBCs or red blood cells becomes sickle or sickle shaped and their oxygen carrying capacity decreases. India's merchandise exports declined by 8.8% to $33.88 billion in February, according to estimates released by the Commerce Ministry recently. This is the second time in the last 3 months that India's exports have declined. If we talk about imports, it has decreased by 8.2% to $51.31 billion as compared to last year. Because of this, India's goods trade deficit has increased by 43.5% as compared to the first 11 months of the year 2021-22.